leader in world technology with their microchip industry, which is second to none, and their dedication to democratic governance and respect for the rule of law. They have desire uh, par- to be a participant of the Interpol organization as well. Taiwan, in particular, for those who do not know, during the early stages when the COVID-19 virus was breaking out in China, Taiwan immediately assembled all their medical professionals. And in fact, it was Taiwan that created the vaccine to stay the effects of COVID-19. So, in other words, they don't just um, talk the talk, they walk the talk, they practice what they preach. And I would like to ask for everyone's support for the adoption of this resolution, and I welcome other sponsors as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Babauta. Any other members wishing to make a comment?
Press.
Recognize Senator Hafschneider.
May I request for a short recess, please? I wanted to kind of just do a offline conversation.
Short recess. Recognize Senator Babauta.
Jesus Mose, Mr. President, prior to the recess, of course, we were discussing this resolution, and I wanted to bring it up to the attention of the clerk and the council if they would consider it a technical amendment on page 3, line 10, towards the middle of that line. It says Director, semicolon, Mary Rodriguez. I believe that should be Rodriguez. And that is the only typographical error that I caught on the final draft. So if we can consider that a technical and move forward, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Babauta. I think the clerk can just go ahead and make that correction. So there is a motion offered by the floor leader to adopt Senate Resolution number 24-04, and it was seconded. Any other discussion from the member?
Ready?
All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Senate Resolution number 24-04 is hereby adopted. Recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I move to adopt Senate Joint Resolution number 24-04 to call for a joint session of the legislature to receive the Governor's State of the Commonwealth address.
Thank you, floor leader. There is a motion to adopt Senate Joint Resolution 24-04 for the State of the Commonwealth address, and it was seconded.
Point of order. Mr.
Point of
Moreno.
order.
I believe the floor leader calls for the adoption of Senate resolution. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a joint resolution. My apologies.
Number.
Same number, yes. That's what the confusion is.
The order is pointed. Thank you, Senator Babauta. There is a motion offered by the floor leader to adopt Senate Joint Resolution number 24-04, and it was seconded. Any discussions by the member? Before we adopt this, I just wanted to state again for the record that the only clarification on this as we introduce this and adopt it today is really just the date. So I just want to state that for the record. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Those opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Senate Joint Resolution number 24-04 is hereby adopted. Moving on. Bill calendar. Recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before we act on either of the bills, at this time, I move for the suspension of Rule 7, Section 10 to withdraw bills from committee.
Thank you. Thank you, floor leader. There is a motion offered by the floor leader to suspend permanent rules for action for today's session, and it was seconded. Any discussions by the members? All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Those rules stated by the floor leader is hereby suspended. Floor leader.
First up on the bill calendar, we have House Bill number 24-17, House Bill to amend 2 CMC Section 2174 to provide the Commonwealth Ports Authority greater autonomy in managing its finances. I move for its passage.
Thank you, floor leader. There's a motion to pass House Bill number 24-17. It was seconded. Any discussions by the members? Recognize floor leader.
Thank you again, Mr. President. At this time, I like to motion to amend House Bill 24-17 by, and if you can follow along, starting on page 1 to replace the word removing with suspending. Sorry, section 1, starting from line 2. And then on line 6, replacing the word removes with suspends. Same with line 4, page 2, and line 8 on page. For line 8, to replace repeal with suspension. Line 16, to add for 5 years after reallocate funds. Line 18, add language provided further that any reallocation of funds of the airport and seaport shall be first used to restore the work hours of the employees to 40 hours per week. On page 3, starting on line 13, we are adding the language that the House has had stricken off because I'm going to propose to add an additional section. And so we're reinstating the language that was on section 2C. Additionally, on page 4, to add a section E, for a period of 5 years after the enactment of this act, all income, revenue, or funds of whatever nature arising out of or derived from activities in connection with or from the use of the airports and seaports under the control of the authority may be reallocated and expended for airport and or seaport related activities, provided that any reallocation of airport and seaport funds shall be first used to restore the work hours of the employees to 40 hours per week. And then on line 15 on page 4, add a section 3 suspension clause. For CMC section 2174C is suspended for 5 years after the enactment of this act, and all section numberings will follow thereafter. So, and so moved.
Thank you, floor leader. There is a secondary motion offered by the floor leader to make amendments in SD1 in the form of SD1, and it was seconded. Discussions on that motion. Recognize Senator or floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, these are discussions that were made in the committee before CPA reallocates funds from the seaport to the airport. We wanted to ensure that the CPA employees are their hours are reinstated to 40 hours per week. We understand that since the austerity measures were set into place, CPA never really got back to the full work schedule, and so they've been at a 72-hour work or per pay period for these past couple of months. And so while there are funds that were identified in the seaport revenues that could be used to address some of the operational needs of both airport and seaport, we wanted to ensure that the employees are well taken care of, with the understanding that there has been a lot of employees that have resigned to seek greener pastures because they can make up for these hours elsewhere. And so we wanted to kind of support them in that way so that we don't go through any issues with high turnover and to lose additional employees. Additionally, I am proposing that that 4CMC section 2174C will be suspended for 5 years so that we can reassess or reevaluate after 5 years if this shall, whether it is necessary to continue with the suspension, and that again, we don't want to make this permanent, and that we can also whoever the legislators are in after 5 years, if this is something that is needed again, it can be revisited. And so that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, floor leader. Any other discussions from the members? Ready? There is a motion offered by the floor leader, or secondary motion offered by the floor leader to make amendments on House Bill 24-17 as stated in the form of SD1, and it was seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Senator Babata,
Hungan.
Senator Calvo,
Yes.
Senator Castro,
Enggan.
Senator Cruz,
Yes.
Senator Hobson,
Yes.
Senator Pineda, Senator Mangugan,
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. President, all 8 members voting yes.
Thank you, clerk. With 8 members voting yes for the motion offered by the floor leader, House Bill 24-17 SD1 is hereby, or the amendments are now passed. Going back to the original motion, recognize the floor leader.
Mr. President, at this time I move for the passage of House Bill 2417 as amended.
Thank you, floor leader. There's a motion offered by the floor leader and it was seconded for House Bill 24-17 SD1. And it was seconded. Any discussions by the members?
Ready.
Clerk, call the roll.
Senator Babalsa,
Enggan.
Senator Calvo,
Yes.
Senator Castro,
Enggan.
Senator Cruz,
Yes.
Senator Hufschneider, Senator King Neighbor,
Yes.
Senator Mangonia,
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. President, all 8 members voting yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With 8 members voting yes, House Bill number 24-17, SD1 hereby passes the Senate. Floor Leader.
Mr. President, at this time, I move for the passage of House Bill 24-20 to require conspicuous warning labels be placed on all betel nut products and containers that are imported or sold in the CNMI.
Thank you, Floor Leader.
Second.
There's a motion offered by the Floor Leader to pass House Bill number 24-20, and it was seconded. Any discussions by the members? Recognize Floor Leader.
Thank you. I just wanted to share that while this did not make committee, we did receive support from the Saipan Chamber of Commerce, Saipan Seventh Day Adventist Dental Clinic, and Medical Associates of Pacific LLC, all in support of this legislation. From my understanding and from my discussions with the Commonwealth Cancer Association, CCA will be funding the labels for the first 2 years, and then the producers will take over after that. But it's a start in the right direction in trying to ensure that labels are placed and to provide that warning for the consumers. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Floor Leader. Any other discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Senator Babalsa,
Enggan.
Senator Calvo,
Yes.
Senator Castro,
Enggan.
Senator Cruz,
Yes.
Senator Hufschneider,
Enggan.
Senator King Neighbor,
Yes.
Senator Mangonia,
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. President, all 8 members voting yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With 8 members voting yes, House Bill number 24-20 hereby passes the Senate. Next item of the agenda, item Q. Clerk.
Mr. President, we have 4 advice items, miscellaneous communication 2433 to 37.
Thank you, Clerk. Discussions by the members? Moving on. Item R, announcement. Any members wishing to make announcement? Recognize Senator Babalta.
Susan Swanson, Mr. President. I just wanted to uh, make an announcement that the U.S. Army Reserve will no longer be issuing military IDs or CAC cards for veterans, service members in the CNMI. Um, and that causes a financial burden and logistical burden, most especially to the municipalities of Tinian and Rhoda. I did write a letter yesterday to the Commanding General of the 9th MSC Military Support Command, and I am awaiting his response on that. I have called for the immediate restoration of the issuance of ID card, and I understand that Indo-PACOM has already received my letter, so I will keep everyone abreast of that. I know it affects many veterans, reservists, and also federal employees on TDY in the CNMI. So I would be letting everybody know, most especially the Senate, so that we can support whatever initiatives or resolutions we can to um, have the Department of Defense um, have an inclusive discussion with us, especially if it affects our families. And I'm deeply concerned about that. And I just wanted to let everyone know that I welcome your support to continue this push towards having the DoD be accountable for to the CNMI residents and also to the CNMI veterans, service members, and their dependents. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Babalta. Along the same line, I saw the papers today on your initiative, and I strongly encourage that you also visit maybe along with your husband, who's serving as Homeland Security advisor, who's a retired colonel. I know that you guys are strong advocates of the military. I hope that you guys can influence the Veterans Affairs and a lot of these initiatives that's being pushed so that we can probably start activating the municipalities veterans, and bringing more support to the municipalities. So I thank you for that effort, and I thank you for pointing out this hardship that our municipalities is going to be facing when they suspend this CAT card access. Any other members that's wishing to make a statement or announcement? Thank you. Further announcement. I know that we didn't um, handle the on unfinished business. We didn't handle item 2, which is the governor's message or governor's communication 2440. We would be coming out and be putting. I will be getting with the team to try and set another session so that we can address this. So just be looking out for that. Thank you, members. Next item of the agenda: adjournment. Recognize the floor leader.
At this time, Mr. President, I move for adjournment of today's session, subject to your call.
Thank you, floor leader. There's a motion offered to adjourn today's session, and it was seconded. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Those opposed, say nay. Today's session is hereby adjourned.